Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of our Miss Bonnie dolls, or whatever you guys want to name yours. But in today's video, we are going to make the panties, if you can see them underneath there. I don't know if, well, here's the purple pair. We're going to make her panties, we're going to make her headband, and then we're going to make the bonnet. All right? So get your yarn. You're going to need your 4mm. You're going to need scissors, your yarn needle to weave in your end, and grab a 5mm crochet hook, because there's a part at the back of the bonnet where we are going to slip stitch across, and just to keep that from getting too tight, we're going to jump up a hook size and work those slip stitches just so that doesn't get too tight on us, okay? And that's it. All right, get your supplies together and let's get started. Alrighty, so to start our little panties, we are going to get a chain of 52 done, okay? So get a slip knot on your hook and make sure you have enough tail to weave in, and chain 52. So go ahead and pause the video and get that done and come back here, and we are going to get started with round 1. So with round 1, we are going to hold our chain. Let me get all my yarn out of the way. Hold our chain, bring it all the way down, run with our fingers, rotate your hand a little bit, and then grab that very first chain with the slip knot and point it to your hook, just like that. I'm going to pass it to this hand so I can get my yarn in my hand. Bring it back, and I'm going to go right into that first chain with the slip stitch and chain 1. And we're going to go right back into that very first chain with a double crochet. So 1, I'm going to pull that chain tight. All right, and now we are going to double crochet into each of the chains around, each of the remaining chains. Just 1 double crochet. All right, so I'm going to let you guys get this done off camera as I get mine done. It's just 1 double crochet into each of your chains, okay? All right, I'm going to get mine done off camera and I will be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've double crocheted all the way around, and my chain was kind of, or not my chain, but my work was kind of all scrunched up like that, so we just straighten it out. Bring that tail to the bottom, and I am going to go ahead and just pull that tail tight, or pull that slip knot tight. All right, so that is round 1. So we're going to slip stitch to the top of our first double crochet. So right here is our chain, right here is our chain 1, which the other side of it's kind of hidden in there, and then slanted right there is our first double crochet. So we're going to slip stitch right into that. All right, so for rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to slip stitch to your first double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the very first double, and we're going to double into each double crochet all the way around. Okay, so once you make it all the way around, slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, double crochet right back into it, then double crochet all the way around, slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet right back in there, double crochet all the way around. Okay, so you're going to repeat that for 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so I'm going to get mine done off camera, and I will be back as soon as I get to the end of round 5. All right, I'll come back right before I slip stitch into my first double crochet at the end of round 5. All right, okay, I will be right back. All right, so I have repeated that around, and I just finished my 5th round, and I'm going to slip stitch to that first double right there, and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pull up a loop, and what we're going to do is we're going to count 27 stitches And you can see I've already got mine marked right there. But we're going to count the one that we slip stitched into. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So 27 I'm going to go ahead and just mark with a stitch marker so I don't lose it. Get that back on my hook, and we are going to come straight across. Go ahead and pull that up a little bit, or just slide it out of the way, and we're going to slip stitch into the 27th double crochet. Chain 1, and we're going to start round 6. We're going to double crochet right back into that double we slip stitched into, and we're going to double crochet into each double all the way around until we get to that we're going to double crochet all the way around until we get to that last double crochet, okay? So I am going to go ahead and continue double crocheting around. Oh, dang it, I messed that up. And I'll meet you when we get to that slip stitch. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I made it around. Oh, tangled up in my yarn. Okay, so I double crocheted into that last double before that slip stitch right there, and I'm going to come right over and I'm going to double crochet into each of the side loops of that chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to just double crochet right into that first chain, double crochet into that next chain, and the next chain. Okay, slip stitch to that first double crochet right there, and we should have 29 double crochets. So I'm going to start with the one we slip stitched into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Good deal. We did that right. All right. So now we are going to chain 1 and single crochet right back into that double we slip stitched into, and single crochet into each double crochet around. Super easy round. Ow, that ran right underneath my fingernail. All right, I'm going to get this done off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, I single crocheted all the way around, and right there is my first single. So I'm going to slip stitch into that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Slip stitch into that first single, chain 1, pull up a loop, make sure you have enough to weave in, and cut. Okay, so now we're going to get our variegated back, and we are going to, with enough tail to weave in, get a slip knot on our hook, and I am going to attach into that same single crochet that we slip stitched into, that very same one. I'm going to slip stitch into there, pull that tail tight, chain 1, and we are going to work 3 double crochet back into that single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. and we're going to work 3 double crochet into each single all around this leg. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so work that all the way around your leg, 3 double into each single, and I will meet you when I have made it to my last single crochet, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I made it all the way around, and Churchy has made his appearance. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch to that very first double crochet right there. I know, Bubby. I know, Bubby. And then chain 1, and for the last round, round 9, we are going to single crochet into that very first double and single crochet into each of the double crochet all the way around, okay? So we're just single crocheting into each double. And that is it. So repeat that all the way around, and I will come back when I get my round done. Churchy, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have single crocheted into each double all the way around, and I'm going to slip stitch to my first single crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And that's the end of our first leg. So I'm going to go ahead and just go right straight to the second leg, and then I'll weave in my ends later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach into the chains in the crotch area. Slip knot on my hook. Make sure you've got enough tail to weave in. Oops, I'm sorry, I bumped my camera. And you can see right here, and right here are the remaining loops from that beginning chain, or that chain 3. So I'm just going to attach into the farthest one with a slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet right back in there, double crochet into the next 2 remaining loops, and then let's see, I don't remember what I do. I have 3, because we're going to end up with 29 just like the other leg, but I don't remember if we skip this one or work into it. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay, we work into that one. I couldn't remember what I did, and I didn't write this down. All right, so we're going to double crochet right into the same double crochet that has that slip stitch right there in it. We're going to double crochet right into there. All right. And now we just double crochet back around to the first double. All right, I'm going to get this done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I double crocheted all the way around. I'm back to the first double that I worked into that chain. I'm going to slip stitch into there, chain 1, and then we just repeat what we did on the first leg. This is the that was round 6 on this leg. So round 7 we work 1 single crochet all the way around, slip stitch to the first, chain 1, cut, and then we attach our variegated, and then we work the 3 double crochet around, slip stitch to our first, chain 1, and work the 1 single crochet around. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys off camera get your second leg done, okay? And then when we come back, we have one more thing we're going to work on these panties, and then we're going to be done with the panties, and we'll go on to the bonnet and the little headband, okay? All right, so get your second leg done and come back. Okay, so I repeated my second leg, and I got all the ends weaved in. I didn't weave this one in yet. If you did, it's not a huge deal. It's not going to hurt anything. But we have one more little round to do. So I'm going to get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. And what we're going to do So we're going to attach into the remaining loops of our beginning chain. Where at, it doesn't matter. We're not going to keep track with anything. Attach with the slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet back into there. And then double crochet into the next 4. So basically all I'm going to do is put my hook where the legs of my first double crochet round is. So the legs are upside down. So where the legs come to my chain, I'm just going to put my hook and push, and it pops right through the remaining loops. All right. So we need the first one we started with and into the next 4. So we should have 5 double crochet. And then over the next 2, we're going to work a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next, pull up a loop, pull through 2, 3 loops on our hook, pull through all 3. All right, and that's what we're going to repeat around. Double crochet 5, decrease, 5, decrease. So, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. All right, so I'm going to let you guys repeat that around. Double crochet 5, decrease, 5, decrease. And I'll meet you when we get back to the beginning, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I've repeated that around, and it looks like I have 3 double crochet left, which if you don't come out with 3 left, it's not a huge deal. A stitch count doesn't matter right here. Oops. And then that very last one right there, which is actually the same chain as our slip knot. All right, now I'm just going to slip stitch to the first, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Weave in my ends, and there are my little panties, or her little panties, I should say. All right, so I'm going to get my ends weaved in, and then when I come back, we are going to start on our bonnet and headband, and then we're going to be done. It feels like it's taken forever to film this. All right, I'm going to get these panties done, and I'll be right back. All right, let's start with our bonnet, and we'll finish with the headband. Okay, so for the bonnet, let's get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. And if you guys can hear that, I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and I want to see if you guys can hear this. If you can hear that real low, that right there. Right there. That's Churchy snoring. Okay, so anyway, we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch to that first chain. I always get my fingertip in there so I don't lose my ring. Slip stitch, chain 1, and then pull that tail tight to tighten down that chain we slip stitched into. And then into our ring, we're going to work 12 double crochets. So right in there and over our tail, 12 doubles. So that's 1. Oops, I split my yarn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, get my yarn moved because I can't get any slack. I just pulled out a bunch of stitches. Dang it. How many did I have? One, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, pull that center tail and we'll weave that in a little bit. But we are going to slip stitch to our first single, our first double, chain 1, and then we're going to work double crochet increases all the way around. So we're going to work 2 double crochet into each double crochet. 1, oops, 2, and into the next one with 2, into the next one with 2. All right, I'm going to let you guys work that off camera and I'll get mine done and be right back. Okay, so I got round 2 done. Round 3, we're going to slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to increase into that same double crochet that we just slip stitched into. So 2 doubles. Okay, now we're going to double crochet into the next. So just 1 double. Double crochet increase into the next. Double into the next. Increase in the next. Double into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat around. Increase 1, increase 1, increase 1, okay? So work that all the way around and I'll be right back. All right, I got that round done. I'm going to slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, and 1, 2, 3. To move on to round 4, we're going to work a double crochet increase into the very first double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 2. So that's our repeat. Increase, 2, increase, 2, double crochet increase, double crochet in the next 2, increase, double crochet in the next 2. Repeat that all the way around, okay? And I will come back as soon as I get mine done. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished that round and I ended with an increase and a double into the last 2 double crochet. All right, so now we're going to move on to round 5. So for round 5, we're going to only slip stitch into the back loop of that first double crochet. So here is the front loop, here is the back loop. We're going to only slip stitch into that back loop right there, okay? So slip stitch into that back loop, chain 1, and go right back in there with a single crochet. And then we're going to back loop single crochet into each of the double crochets around. So this is an easy peasy round. So go ahead and just back loop single crochet all the way around. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming around. I have one more double crochet that I back loop single crochet into, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop this to where it lays like that. So my double crochets are the back of all of my work, all my doubles are away from me, and it's like a bowl like that. Okay, so we are going to slip stitch to that first single crochet and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to double crochet into the next single, and we're not going to go back into that same single that we slip stitched into. We're going to go into the next one. So double crochet into that next one, and now we're going to double crochet into the next 38. So we should have 39 double crochets, so this one and then 38 others. So go ahead and get your 38 single crochets done, and double crochets, I'm sorry. I will be right back. All right, I'm gonna get mine done and I'll be right back. All right, I repeated. I double crocheted into 39, so I have my chain 3 and then 39 double crochets. All right, so we're gonna work in rows now. For row 7, we chain 3 and turn, and don't double crochet into that very first double crochet, because that chain 3 is going to count as a double. So we're going to double crochet into the next double, and then double crochet into each double all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and get these done and be right back. All right, so I'm coming to the end, and I have one double to crochet into, and then we have that beginning chain 3, so I'm just going to double crochet right into the top of that chain 3. All right, so that was the end of row 7. So for row 8, 9, and 10, you're going to repeat the exact same thing we just did. Chain 3, turn. Don't double crochet into that first double, because our chain 3 counts as a double right there. So go to the next, double crochet into each double crochet into each double crochet across, double into the top of that chain 3, turn. Repeat that. So you should have, so we're starting row 8, so finish row 8 and then 9 and 10, all right? And I will come back at the end of row 10. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished row 10. So now I'm going to chain 1 and pull up a loop. Make sure you have enough to weave in and fasten off. You can go ahead and weave in those tails if you want to, or you can wait. We are now going to work the ruffle around the face. So what I want is the bonnet facing me. All right, so row 10, the chain 1 that we worked at the end of row 10 and cut should be to your right. All right, and we are going to get our variegated, and we're going to work 2 back loop double crochet into each of the double crochet across row 10. Okay, so with my bonnet facing me, I can see the top of row 10. The chain 1 and fasten off should be to my right, and I'm going to fasten into the exact same double, or the very last double crochet into row 10, back loop only. Okay, with the slip stitch, pull that tail, tighten that down, chain 1, and work 2 double crochet right back into that back loop. All right, now that's what I'm going to work all the way across row 10. 2 back loop double crochet into each double all the way across. And I will meet you before we work into that chain 3, okay? At the end of row 10. So just 2 back loop double crochets all the way around. All right, so I'm going to get mine done and I'll be right back. All right, I am coming. to the end. I have one more double that I need to work 2 back loop doubles into, and then my beginning chain 3, I'm going to just work a normal double crochets into, just like that. All right, so now we're going to move on to row 12, I'm sorry, chain 1, and we are going to turn this round. And we are going to single crochet into that first single, chain 3, and this, hold on just a second. Okay, I was doing a little test because I thought about working a single, chain 3, single into the next, chain 3, single into the next, repeat that across. But it just doesn't look right, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep it with single into your very first double crochet, chain 3, skip the next double, single crochet into that next double, and that's what we're going to repeat across. Chain 3, skip, single into the next double, chain 3, skip, single into the next double. All right, so you can go ahead and repeat that all across your double crochets, and I will meet you back at the beginning. All right, so I have made that across. I have 3 double crochet left, so I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to slip stitch in that last double. If your guys's doesn't come out like, or I mean single crochet, if your guys's doesn't come out like that, it's not a huge deal. Just make sure you get into that last double crochet. And now what we're going to do is chain 1 and rotate. And what we're going to do now is slip stitch all the way across here. So I recommend, just to keep it on the loose side, that you don't, because if you slip stitch that too tight, what'll happen is it'll bunch up. So the best way to prevent that is to go up a hook size. So I'm going to get my 5mm. Okay. And I am just going to start slip stitching across, nice and easy. I'm not going any specific place. I'm just working it straight across there. Nice and neat. Going through the stitches. I keep wanting to single crochet, dang it. Just nice and neat. Slip stitch across there. All right. All right, so I am going to, actually, you know what? Well, I guess it's not a big deal. I was going to actually pull this out and cut that blue because I didn't want blue across here, but it's not going to be a big deal. Nobody's going to notice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stick with you guys. I'm trying to get this hook to stop squeaking. All right, so I'm just going to go into, oops. Go into that hole right there, slip stitch, that gap, that hole, the gap. I'm just going to go into the top of that single, and now I'm just going to slip stitch into each single across there. Nice and easy. All right, now I'm back into around stitches, into a hole, just nice and loose. And I'm going to slip stitch right to where my colored yarn and my blue yarn come together. My variegated and my blue, right there. Where it comes together, I'm just going to work a slip stitch into... yeah, I'm just going to go right into there. And now I'm going to chain a length Where'd my tape measure? Oh, chain a length of 10 inches because this is going to be the tie for around our bonnet. And I'm going to go 10 inches. So off camera here, I'm just going to start chaining. And once I get so far, I'm going to stop and measure and see how long I am. I'm at 7. Alright, now I'm going to stop. See how long. I'm just a tad bit past 9 inches. Go a few more stitches. Check again. 10.5. I'm going to pull out 2. Okay, 10 inches. So now I'm going to pull up a loop and cut. Make sure you have enough to weave in, because I'm going to show you guys how to weave your tail through your chain. All right, so that's our first tie. So now we are going to come back and get that variegated yarn back and get a slip knot on our hook. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. And I'm going to attach in the same place, right where the color, the variegated and the blue come together. I'm going to come on now. I'm grabbing everything but my working yarn here. All right, slip stitch, and I'm going to chain another length of 10 inches. All right, so I'm going to chain. And I'm just now realizing that my first chain I used my 5mm hook, and this chain I'm using my 4. So I'm going to stop, pull those chains back out, and go back to that 5mm since that's what I used on my first chain. No big deal. Just getting this chain done. And I don't need to measure this one because I've got the first one to use as a guide. A little bit farther to go. All right, I'm going to call that good. Pull up a loop, cut, and there is our bonnet. So I'm excited to see what this looks like on her. So I'm going to go ahead and before I even get my ends weaved in, I'm going to put this on her and show you guys. And I have to tell you, the reason I'm excited to see what this bonnet looks like is because after we did the neck ruffle, I was a tad bit worried that she looked a little too much like a clown. I will say that adding the bonnet helps take away that effect, that clown look that I was worried about. Let me get her hair pulled out a little. Oh, look at her. All right, hold on. Let me get you guys. Look at her. I love it. Oh, I'm so happy that bonnet makes it not look so much like a clown. Yay. Okay. All right, let me take this off. All right. Oh, we are about done. One more thing. Oh, it feels good. It's taken me just about a week to film the doll, the dress, the panties, the bonnet, and the headband. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to weave your tail back through your chain. And then I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to get the rest of my ends weaved in. And then when I come back, we are going to make the headband and then we are done. We are done. All right, so I'm going to bring you guys in closer. All right, so I have my tail weaved into my needle and I want to go into the back of my chain. So what I'm looking at are the back humps, the back loops of my chain. See them? The camel humps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way through that back loop and this way through this back loop and just go back and forth through a few of them, okay? So this way, this way, this way, Now when you pull that tight, hold on to that slip knot, or that slip stitch. Hold on to that. Okay, and I'm going to go through a few more. I'll do one more. All right, I'm going to hold that and pull it tight. Straighten the chain back out. And now what I'm going to do is when I come back down the chain, I'm going to take my needle and just start going through whatever I can get my hook into. Now I'm like right there. If you heard that, I'm ripping through the threads of my strand, and that's perfectly fine because that's what's going to hold tight to those, to my tail. Real tight like that. Okay, now I'm going to hold it and give it a tug again, and then just snip that end. Right like that. And it stays in there. Okay, so go ahead and do that to your other chain, and then get all of your other ends weaved in, and I'm going to get mine done, and then when we come back, all we're going to make is a little headband and the bow, and we're done. All right, give yourself, well, not yet. Let's not pat ourselves yet. Let's get this done first. Okay, I'm going to be right back. Okay, let's get this last piece done, okay? So what I want you guys to do is to get your main color. I'm going to make my headband with the headband part to be the main color, like the solid color of my dress, and then the bow will be my variegated color. You guys can do it however you want to. You don't even have to use the color of your dress, whatever you want to do, okay? And then I want you to get a slip knot on your hook and chain 45. I did mine a tad bit on the tighter side. I did make it snap a little every time I worked a chain, but don't do it too tight to where you can't work into your chains, okay? So if you need to, pause your video and get your chain of 45 done. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our chain and we're going to run our fingers down our chain. Don't let it twist. Grab your slip knot. I'm going to rotate it in my hand. Still not twisted. And then I'm just going to point it to my hook. Bring it to my hook just like that. Just point it at my hook. I'm going to pass it into my other hand so I can get my yarn on my hand threaded through my fingers. And I'm going to slip stitch right into that first chain. Just like that. Chain one, and we're going to double crochet right back into that chain. Oops, I split that. Okay, so now I'm going to stop and tighten down that slip knot and double crochet into each of my chains. Be careful to not let your chain twist, okay? So I'm just going to double crochet into each chain. Alright, so I am going to get mine done, and I will be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I've double crocheted into each of my chains all the way around. Now I'm going to slip stitch to my first double, and you can see right there that little bitty band. That is the slip stitch. The little heart look right there is my chain one, and right there is my first double. So I'm going to slip stitch into there, chain one, pull up a longer loop for enough tail to weave in, and cut. Okay, so now I'm going to weave in these tails, and the main purpose of weaving these tails in, besides hiding them, is to also make sure it kind of tightens down the headband a little bit. So I'm going to take it through the loops of that double and then go straight through the legs. I'm going to pull that tight. Come back. One more time. Just like that. And cut. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing with this tail. Okay. I'm going to go through the legs this way. Pull it tight. Come back. Get out of there. Pull that tight. Go back one more time. And cut. Alright. So there's the headband part. And it will stretch whenever we put it on her. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side. Now we're going to make the bow real quick. So the bow is simple. Get another slip knot on your hook. Make sure you get enough tail. We need a good length, more than to weave in, because this is what we're going to use to wrap around our bow. So my length is 9 inches. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough. All right, we are going to start with a chain of 24. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Thought I could get it done faster. I'm going to go ahead and just pause this and finish it off camera. Okay, so I've got my chain of 24 done. We're going to double crochet into the third chain from our hook. So there's the not the one I'm holding, the one in front of my thumb. There's 1, there's 2, and right there's that third one, the one I'm touching with my thumbnail. We're going to double crochet into that chain. And then double crochet into each of the chains, each of the remaining chains. All right, so go ahead and get that done. I'm going to get mine done off camera just because it's a little easier to do. And as soon as I get that done, I'll be right back. All right, I've got one more chain to double crochet into. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to double crochet into that very first double. Double crochet into each double. So excited to get this done. Crochet faster when I'm off camera, because when I crochet on camera my hands are away from, they're stretched out from me, they're away from my body. When I crochet normally, my elbows are tucked to my side and my work is right in front of my chest, not like in my face, but I mean it's right in front of me, and it's so much easier to do that than to have your arms stretched out in front of a camera. So that's why sometimes it's like, I'm just going to pause and do this off camera. I can do it a lot faster. All right, so I've made that across, and I've got one more double crochet right there. We're going to double crochet into that. We're not going to double crochet into that chain 2, okay? We're just going to leave that alone. All right, so now we're going to chain 1, and then we are going to come down here and take this end to this end. Bring our 2 ends together, just like this. So it makes a little ring. And we are going to hold them flat, like this, and slip stitch through both sides, slip stitching them together. I'm just going straight through all of it. And getting making sure I'm going through both sides and slip stitching, and make sure you go all the way to the edge. All right, now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to pull up a longer loop, because we're also going to need that to, let's see, how long was that loop? About 6 inches. And then pull it out, because we're also going to use that to make our bow. So now we flip the seam inside. So we flip it out like this, so the seam is to the inside, and then we're gonna pinch it in half, just like that. And now we're gonna take the shorter tail, making sure it's nice and in the middle, and we're gonna wrap it about 1 or 2 times, about like we'll go one more time, just like that. All we're doing is just getting the center of our bow started. Now this tail, I'm going to come this way, and I'm just going to make sure that that center is nice and tight, and I'm going to come around and I'm going to stop. No, bring it back, it's a little too short. I'm going to stop right there. Now before I tie these off, I'm going to look at my bow, see if I like it. Alright, now I'm going to take, that was my heater just kicking on, if you guys hear that. Now I'm going to take these 2 ends and I'm going to tie them in a knot, but I want it to stay to the back of the bow. So I'm not going to go, if I pull it too tight, it's going to pull to the front of the bow, and that's not what I want. I want it to stay to the back. So I'm just going to pull it, come on now, to where the knot stays to the back. Just like this. There. And then you can adjust it, you know, get your fingers in these sides, kind of stretch it. I do have to admit, I'm not liking the bow very much in this variegated yarn. And I almost wonder if it's because there's too much blue. What if I take, let me take that off. Yeah, I think it may be because of the blue. Or what if I just used only blue? Okay, so you guys can be done with your bow. I'm gonna fix mine because I'm kind of not liking the way it's looking. The color is what I'm talking about, not the actual work of my bow. There, I think I like that better. I just used the solid blue to tie off that bow. Alright, I'm going to go with that. I will take care of these tails. Alright, now I'm going to tie off my bow. Keeping my knot to the back. Just like that. Okay, that I like that better. That looks nicer. Alright, so I'm gonna hide these tails. I'm not gonna do anything special with these ones that I messed up. I'm just gonna run them to the back of my bow here. Just right through there. And cut. And then do this. I'm going to wait to do these ends because I'm going to see how I want to attach it to the headband first. So let me get you guys pulled out like that. And I'm going to put the bow on her head, which I have her sitting in my lap, so that's why you can see the edge of my desk and everything. But what I want to do is put it completely on her head and then get all of her hair out of the back of it. So just like you would put a headband on a kid. But I'm going to try not to mess up her hair too much. Because, you know, curly hair, if you mess with it too much, it's going to frizz. So that's what I'm trying to keep from happening. Which, I mean, I'm not doing a very good job, but that's all right. Okay, so get all of that hair out. So it's like a necklace now. It's sitting on her head like or on her neck like a necklace. And then I'm going to take this top and I'm going to come up just a little, and then I'm going to pull some bangs out. So It gives her a little bit of hair there. And then I'm going to pull some hair out along the side. So what's going to happen is part of that hair is going to hold the headband on. Pull out a little bit more right there. Maybe a little bit more for the bangs. Okay, so what I have are the top of the double crochets facing her head, and then the chain is facing to the back of her head. So I'm just kind of messing with her hair now. Okay, I like the way that's looking. So if I take the bow to the side, look at that, that's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to use the tails to tie the bow to the headband. So I'm just going to thread one of the tails onto my needle. I'm going to set that. I want it to set about right to the side of her head. So I'm going to take that and run it through the post of a double crochet. Make sure you don't have any hair in there. If you do, just use your needle to get it out of there. And then I'm going to take my other tail, which is a little too small, and run it around the next post. Don't catch any hair. And then I'm just going to tie that in a knot. And you don't have to do this. If you want to glue it on your headband, go ahead. Probably be a lot easier anyway. All right. So now I am just going to take those tails to the inside of the headband. And weave them through a couple of the doubles. Just like that. And cut. And ta-da! Oh, I'm so happy with her. We are done, you guys. We're done. We're done. All right, I am going to pause my video, and I'm going to get her set up, and I'm going to get my other doll set up, and do my little exit, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, guys, now give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause. You have made the cutest little dolls ever. Oh, I'm so glad we are done with these. And please, 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 in the description box, there's a link to my Facebook group. I'm sorry, I just popped my fingers. There's a link to my Facebook group. There's a link to my Instagram, and there's a link to my Twitter. Whatever social media platform you prefer to use, please, if you make these, join my Facebook group and post them. Tag me in your Instagram. Tag me in your Twitter. I want to see these. And also my email's down there. If you don't follow social media, which, you know, that's totally up to you. I don't blame you. Email them to me. My email address is down there too. Because, oh, I am so excited to see what you guys come up with these. You guys are going to blow me away. I know you will. Give yourself another round of applause because we're done. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed all 3 of my tutorials. Don't forget, down in the description box, the link to part 1 and part 2 are going to be in there. The link to the written pattern, the link to all my social media, my email. Show me what you make, okay, guys? If you were all here, I'd give each and every one of you a hug just for sticking with me. All right. Okay, what else? Is that it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get off of here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.